Hi everyone. As Lauren mentioned, my name is Meg and I did the School of Communications in April this year for 3 months. And I'm going to tell you a bit about what I learnt. So about probably, when I was this tall, primary school age, I definitely wouldn't have thought that I'd be up here speaking to you. I thought that communication was public speaking and don't speak in front of people and people are scary. But doing the School of Communications, and for those of you who don't know, a little context about me, I actually work in the communications team here at YWAM Newcastle. And so I went from little girl, scared of talking to people at all, to, hi, this is Meg from YWAM Newcastle. Would you like to come and do a DTS at our base? And it's what I do, it's what I love. We have an amazing team. And so I prayed about it and I really felt called to do this school. And so as I was saying, communication for me, I used to think was about the way that I talked, about the way that I moved, but nothing more. Doing this school, I discovered that it's so much more than that. Communication is a dynamic process that represents the very nature and character of God. Excuse me. It is vital for creating an understanding quality of relationships. What do I mean by that? Well, God is the great communicator. He's intentional, he's diverse in his communication, and I'm going to get us thinking a little bit about that because it's what I learnt. Communication was one of the very first things that Adam did. Let's go back to Genesis. In the garden, God created Adam, and he's walking and he's talking with God, and he's naming creation with God, and he's speaking in language that's, as far as we know, never been done before other than God and Jesus and Holy Spirit, Trinity. And so they're communicating. And it's the very first thing that Adam did with God, one of the very first things. And so we communicate in everything that we do. But how can I back that up? Why do we communicate? Because God communicates in everything that he does. I want you to close your eyes for a minute. And I want you to imagine the world around you. Think of your favorite place, an animal, a plant, a country, anything that comes to mind. And now I want you to look a little closer at the detail. What color is it? What does it look like? What is its design? The visible world around us communicates his invisible attributes. Think of the colors that we have in our flowers and our vegetables and the ocean and the sky. They're blue, but they're two different blues. Look at the people around you for a second. We're all diverse in this room. We might have similar hair colors. We might be tall or short or different shapes and sizes, but we're all people, and yet we're still diverse. And what is God communicating about his invisible attributes to us through that? The song that we sang earlier, all the earth will shout your praise. Our hearts will cry and these bones will sing. Our very being communicates because God created us to communicate. Even in the chorus, it's your breath in our lungs and we pour out our praise. That is a way that we can communicate. And on so many levels, it's not just talking or our language that we have in our actions. It's even the things that we don't say that communicate to those around us. Communication is the vehicle of relationship. It's a tool of service for the advantage of others and not myself. If it's one thing that God challenged me in my time of the 3 months I did this school, it's, Meg, are you communicating to benefit others or are you communicating to benefit yourself? And the times throughout the Bible that we see God communicating, it's to benefit us. It's to benefit, it's to lead and guide us in the right direction. It is to grow the relationship that we have with him and with others as well. Because from the relationship that we have with him, so then will our relationship with others be healthy and grow. In today's technological age, we've migrated to another level of communication. And it's a little bit messy and tricky, but the foundations of communication still stay the same. And so for me, where I'm at now is how do we take those foundations of communication and put it into the technological age? What if communication was not only transactional, but transformational? So if we were able to send a message and they were to receive it effectively, and then send one back and we received it effectively, that's transactional. But what if that transaction was actually transformational? And I'm going to finish with a story of Jonah. And Jonah is in chapter 4. He's pretty complacent and whingy and angry, to say the least, with what's going on. And God provides him a plant. And if we know the story of Jonah, that plant dies and Jonah gets even more upset, and he says, it's better for me to die right now than to keep going in what you're calling me to do. And I read that passage and I'm like, okay, God, what are you speaking about communication here? What are you teaching us? And no matter our situation, good, rough, whatever it is, God is always communicating with us and growing that relationship. And we have a choice to be like Jonah or to be like David. And David in the Psalms, he communicates. Yes, he pours out his heart to God and says, God, this isn't fair, but you are still good. And so in our communication, I've learned this 3 months is that in whatever my circumstance, am I communicating to benefit others, but am I also communicating first and foremost to grow my relationship with God and to draw others to God? And how am I doing that? Through communication and through technology. And yeah, so that's what I've learnt these past 3 months.